Intro. Hey everyone, welcome to Poor Mana's Magic, a place where the wild cards never rain on our parade. Today we are going to be continuing our climb up through the ranks of the premier draft of the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth set. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, pack one, pick one. So it looks like we have a lot of really nice picks here. We have, as our rare, Born Upon a Wind, which is an instant speed spell. It says you may cast spells this turn as though they had flash, draw a card. Not super great and limited as far as I've been able to tell. In the kind of next pick slots, we have Elrond, Lord of Rivendell, which is a scry enabler. We have Glorfindel, which is also a scry creature. We have Gimli, counter of kills, which relies on things dying. We have some removal in Improvised Club. We have some card draw. We have Hobbit Sting, which is a really great removal spell for the Hobbits deck. I think the best card, though, is Elrond. Even though we played into this last time, I think this is maybe the way to go for now. We'll go ahead and try it. Actually, let's have some fun. Let's take Hobbit Sting. We'll try to force some white. Okay, that's not too bad. So we picked up a Peregrine Took, which is also a really excellent enabler in the food deck, the Selesnya food deck. We also have Bilbo, Retired Burglar, which when it enters or leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts us. And whenever Bilbo deals combat damage, you get to create a token, but it is a 1/3, and it doesn't really do a whole lot else other than that. We have some removal in blue. We have some other flash scrying in blue. We have Horses of the Breenan, which is a great card for the scry deck as well. Troll of Khazad-dûm. We have some black mana fixing, Oliphant, some red mana fixing. I think Peregrine Took is our pick here, though. Pack 3, we have Bitter Downfall, which is an excellent removal spell in black. We have Dunedain Ranger, which has some landfall. It's a pretty solid 4/4 body. We have Eastmark Cavalier, a vigilant 2/2, not bad. We have Protector of Gondor, which creates a token. We have Westfold Rider, which destroys artifacts or enchantments. Not too bad. We have a flyer. We have some island cycling, Nasty End. Peregrine Took doesn't create tokens on its own. We don't have any other... Well, it's not entirely true, is it? We'll go ahead and take Protector of Gondor here as our only other token generator so far. I think that's the pick. Okay, now we're getting into it. So now we have Council's Deliberation, which is phenomenal in the scry deck. We would have really made a killing if we went for the scry deck here, but we are kind of forcing a little bit. Strider, Ranger of the North, is a super solid 4/4 body with landfall, and says whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, a target creature gets +1/+1. And if a creature has power 4 or greater, it gains first strike. It's pretty good on its own. We do see another Eastmark Cavalier. That tells us nobody's really doing the white low to the ground aggro type thing. We have Second Breakfast, which is also really good in our deck. I think at this point we can probably pick up another Second Breakfast, so let's go ahead and take a Strider, just to have a little bit of higher end play. So it looks like we wield a rare, press the enemy, return spell or permanent, and then cast something without paying its mana. Okay, not super great for us. Mirror of Galadriel, a little slow for what we're trying to do. Firebrand, pretty good. Breaking of the Fellowship, pretty good. Mirkwood Bats is really good in a black-white token deck, which we kind of have access to between Hobbit Sting and Protector. Ents Fury, a really good fight removal spell, or the green deck, which would also be really nice. Doing this, I actually think we're going to go ahead and take the Mirkwood Bats here and leave black available for ourselves. Oof. Okay, so we have Theoden, King of Rohan, which is a really great card to pick. We have Nimble Hobbit, which is an excellent, a really, I think, underrated card, especially in the late game when you have plenty of food generation. We have Wrath and Ruin, which can pump our creatures. Lothlorien Lookout, which would be great in the scry deck. Some Amass, some Minor Trickery. I think it's a pick between Nimble Hobbit and Theoden. I kind of like the idea of maybe leaving red open, but I think Naya is too many colors, Let's go ahead and take our hobbit. We do wheel another second breakfast. We have a great hall of the Citadel. We also have a Mirkwood Spider, which we've gotten stymied by pretty well in a few games. We'll go ahead and take the second breakfast for now, though. Lost to Legends. Not a bad... Ooh, another Mirkwood Bats, though. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Mirkwood Bats. It's just a really solid 4-drop card. So this was our first pack. Escape from Orthanc, not a bad combat trick. It's mostly a defensive trick. And the +1 isn't necessarily going to get us to trade, especially with all our kind of 1 toughness creatures so far. Improvised Club, not what we want here. I think that's what we have to take. Another Escape from Orthanc. Sure, why not? Shire Terrace could be good. In case we want some mana fixing. We'll go ahead and take that for now, put it in our sideboard. Nasty End came around, really surprised by that. Galadrim Guide, also available. Second Breakfast and Eastmark Cavalier. I think we'll take the second breakfast. We will go ahead and take some red removal, just in case. Wrath and Ruin, wow, okay. So pack 2, pick 1, Horn of Gondor. Now, when I said that maybe a Mirkwood Bats would be okay, because who knows, maybe we'll be a token deck. It looks like the gods want us to play a token deck. Horn of Gondor is a 3-mana legendary artifact that says when it enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 human soldier token, and for 3 mana and a tap, you can create X 1/1 human white soldiers, where X is the number of humans you control. So we are now going to start looking for humans. Apologies, Peregrine took. No way. Did we also get a Faramir? Holy cow. Faramir, Prince of Athelion. At the beginning of your end step, choose an opponent. You draw a card if they didn't attack you that turn. Otherwise, create 3 white human creature soul. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, so we are now pivoting away very quickly from our forcing the Hobbits deck, and we are getting into humans. That really kind of makes me, that makes me sad we didn't take those 2-mana vigilant creatures, but that's okay. We will have other opportunities. So we're not really going to be drawing many cards. Dunedain Blade could be good if we have some tokens. It's very cheap and it pumps up our creatures. I think this is more important at this juncture. We did get another Eastmark Cavalier. That's what we want to see. Another Nimble Hobbit, some other stuff. Watchdog's good. Smite the Deathless, very good removal. Go ahead and take the Eastmark Cavalier. Esquire of the King, a really, really excellent 1-mana spell for us. We also did draw into Meriadoc Brandybuck, but I think that's a little too far behind us at this point. So we have an Esquire here. We also have a Rally of the Hornburg. I think we try to stay in as few colors as possible. We'll see if that helps us. Errand Rider of Gondor, another really excellent piece in our humans deck. When Errand Rider of Gondor enters the battlefield, draw a card. And then discard if you don't control legendary. This is going to be really nice. So we'll go ahead and take that. And we now have our eyes, though, on those Dunedain Blades. So we have an East Farthing Farmer. Not quite what we want. We have some Orc stuff. We have Swarming of Moria. We have other stuff. I think maybe Lorien Revealed. If we happen to get into blue, could be some good mana fixing. We also have Knights of Dol Amroth, which is a 4-mana blue human knight. But that is going to rely on card draw. Let's go ahead and take the mana fixing, I think. Eagles of the North. So it has some plane cycling, which we probably aren't going to need. It is a flyer, but it's a 6-mana flyer. It does buff our creatures, so if we have tokens, that could be nice. Not great, though. I kind of am thinking maybe we go for a Rohirrim Lancer here, but that's maybe too many colors. We'll stick with the Eagles. We'll see what we can do with that. Barrowblade, Shire Scarecrow, Great Hall of the Citadel. We'll go ahead and take the Great Hall, just for some potential mana fixing again. Stalwarts of Osgiliath, we did cycle around. So, not the best. We're actually going to go ahead and take Lost to Legends. Non-land, historic, permanent. Ugh. Maybe we do take Osgiliath. I'm a little up in the air there, but stick with what we see. Wrath and Ruin could be good if we come around to some more tokens. Nimble Hobbit at this point is just a 2-mana body. Ooh. Crusher. Dunedain Blade came around. Not too bad. Okay. We want to see some humans. So we have Lotho Corrupt Sheriff. Whenever a player casts their second spell, you lose a life and create a treasure. So this could be nice ramp. It could be also a little bit of mana fixing for us. It is a rare, which, if we remember, we do like to pick as many rares as we can. We are in black. We are looking to try to create some humans and some tokens. Eastmark Cavalier is available to us. We also have a little bit of removal and isolation. At this point, I'm not really feeling a lot of cohesion in our deck yet. We have some really solid cards in Horn of Gondor, and especially with Faramir. But beyond that, I'm not seeing a whole lot. I guess we'll go ahead and auto-select here. We'll see if we can fit that in. So Bitter Downfall, we see our second copy of, and we will take it this time since it looks like we're going to be including some black. Not seeing a whole lot else that we're going to care about in this pack, though. Forge Anew. We aren't going to have too many equipment cards in our graveyard, so I don't think this is going to be worth it for us. Okay. We'll hear the Windlord. Might not be the worst. It is just a 4/4 flying vigilant creature, which could be great. And potentially we could cast this for 4 mana, but we have to get some card draw, which we don't have yet. Not the worst, not the best. We'll go ahead and put that in our sideboard for now. Reprieve, a really, really good removal spell for us, or at least a counter removal, slow things down type spell. It also helps us draw, which is good. That'll enable some of these cards like Gwahir. Eowyn Fearless Knight. So when Eowyn Fearless Knight enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with greater power. Legendary creatures you control gain protection from each of that creature's colors. So this is just really nice. We're getting a lot of, oh man, I want everything in this deck. We have Eowyn, we have Rally at the Hornburg, we have Errand Rider. Let's go ahead and pick the rare and try to make something of this. We'll figure out our colors later. We have another, nice, okay, good. Another Protector of Gondor, 4 mana human soldier. We have a lot of things in the 4 mana slot, and that's not my favorite. Human soldier, again at 4 mana. We had a little bit more of those early humans. We would be in a really great spot here, but Ugluk would have been fine in an Orcs deck or a Goblin deck. Improvised Club, not the worst. Desperate Rescue, not too bad. Quarrel's End does create a human soldier. We'll go ahead and take that. Ooh, I would really like to see another human something come around. I don't know if we're going to get it. This might be a bad draft for us. Go ahead and take a slip on the ring. Humans? No humans. Scarecrow, Lothlorien Lookout, Battle-Scarred Goblin. At least it's in the 2 slot. Escape for Orthanc. Nimble Hobbit. It's taking small bodies now. Bombadil's Song. Okay. This is going to be a very challenging draft for us. So we do have some small bodies. If nothing else, we made sure to take them a little bit earlier. We also have a lot of early removal. So let's see if we can put something good together here. So I'm going to take everything out of my deck that isn't the very best cards. So we have... Yep. Eagles. So looking at the build-arounds, potentially for us, we have Lotho Corrupt Sheriff, which is a Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, lose a life and create a treasure token. So it's an early ramper. So this is something that could potentially allow us to play 3 colors. We have Errand Rider of Gondor, which is the kind of human synergy draw effect that we would have liked to get at least one more of. We have Horn of Gondor, which is a phenomenal card and can really take over games if we go 1 or 2 turns unanswered. It does require humans though, and we're a little short on humans. We have some really excellent removal in Bitter Downfall. We have some really great just flying body payoff cards in Mirkwood Bats. We have Erkenbrand, which really needs a fuller board, so when it comes down, or whenever another human enters, creatures get +1/+0. It is a nice aggressive buff, but we really would like this to be maybe a card that comes down after we've already gotten our opponents to 12-ish life. We want this to be kind of the final push through the wall. We have Faramir, which can be really, really excellent on its own. It helps us draw, we can create some white soldier tokens. The nice thing about this is even if it comes down and immediately gets removed... Oh, we have to hit our end step though. So if we can make it to our first end step after this comes down, even if it gets removed on the following turn, we'll still get 3 human soldier tokens out of it, and that's pretty sweet. Éowyn is just a really nice, hasty 4-mana on-curve kind of play. When it comes down, we get to exile a target creature, so if we're a little bit behind on board, Éowyn can come down, exile a creature the opponent controls, clear the way, get us back in the game. And we do have quite a few legendary creatures as well, so we could... They do gain protection, which means our legendary creatures wouldn't be able to be blocked by opponent's creature that we exile. If we're facing a monocolored deck, that could be really huge to get through some more damage. This is a really tough call. We have some legendary creatures here. We have Faramir, which is a blue mana required spell. It looks like we're mostly going to be white. We'll go ahead and add back in our humans here. See what else we have in terms of the humans. Dunedain, Protector, Quarrel's End is red. We have some black. A lot in the 4-mana slot. That's going to be rough. And we also have Strider, so we're almost playing a 5-color humans deck here, which is not something I want to do. I want to stick to 2 colors as much as possible and maybe splash a 3rd. So we're going to create more humans if we have red. We have some later turn humans that are really good. Mirkwood Bats, really excellent with our Horn of Gondor, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to put these together game after game. And that's going to be a little difficult. Really regretting not taking more of those Eastmark Cavaliers earlier. It would have been nice to have 2 or 3 of those. We do have one island cycling card in Lorien Revealed, which could be good. That could help us get to our Faramir. We do have some other lands here in Great Hall of the Citadel, which we will add, and Shire Terrace, which we can also add. So we have some mana fixing. We're probably going to draw at least one of those in a kind of standard look at the top 15, 20 cards of your deck kind of game. What else do we have in red? We have Battle-Scarred Goblin, Breaking of the Fellowship. We have some removal, really nice removal in the 2 slot. In black, we have Nasty End, which is not going to be as helpful. In blue, again, just Quahir and Lorien. Quahir is legendary, which would work well with Éowyn. Although we don't have as much card draw. I'm kind of leaning towards cutting out Lotho, putting in a couple removal spells and a Battle-Scarred Goblin. Just trying to get to a point where we can build up our board a little sooner. Have more 2 and 3 drops, if possible, or 2 and 3 turn plays. And that way we can mostly focus on making our deck white-red. Reprieve is also good. Nimble Hobbit, I think we'll probably stick 1 or 2 in. Escape from Orthanc, maybe 1. We have a Plane Cycler. Breaking Fellowship. So we have a little bit of card draw. We have some color correction in Lotho, if we stick with black early on. We have some early kind of bigger bodied defensive creatures. We might be able to get some things on the board and then buy enough time to get our humans going. And at the current pace, I think that's where we want to go with this. I'm considering cutting out the Mirkwood Bats completely, and instead playing something like Second Breakfast, just to give ourselves a little bit of a chance to surprise our opponents, be a little bit more defensive in some of our plays, and also to create some food. Because it's very possible we'll have made a turn 2 play, maybe even a turn 1 and 2 play, and then not have anything on turn 3 that we can really effectively use our mana, or efficiently use our mana for. I think Breaking of the Fellowship needs to come in. I think a late stage flyer isn't super helpful at 3 power and toughness. The Plane Cycling could be good just to get us another mana and keep us going, because we are very 4 slot heavy. But that's really where the power of our deck is going to come in. And especially if we can get Protector of Gondor and Horn of Gondor going. That could be really nice. Because we can block all day long with the tokens that we'll get from this. We'll go ahead, add a Stalwart, add a Second Breakfast. And we'll think about this. So we have just our Esquire on turn 1. We have 1 human, 2 blades, 2 humans, 3 humans, 4 humans, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 humans. So we should draw at least 1 or 2 of them to go alongside a Horn of Gondor if we draw into it. And that could be enough to get us there. I think we could string together at least 3 wins with this deck. We have our removal, we have some reprieve, we have a couple combat tricks, we have some card draw. Yeah, let's give this a try. So black mana, how are we on mana here? We only need 1 island. We're going to have 1, 2, 3 potential, 7 plains. I think we go down 1 island. We do want to make sure we hit a swamp. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 chances at that. We should draw into that by turn 4. Okay. So this is going to be our deck. It's a little weaker than I would have preferred, but we did kind of hop around in terms of what we were trying to do. Let's see if we can make this work. Actually, we do need Lotho on turn 2, don't we? So we'll add 1 more swamp. We'll take this in. Okay, so we have 3 of our most important manas. No early plays, and none of our early removal or interaction. I think we'll have to mulligan this one. This is so much better. Okay, so we have a turn 1 Shire Terrace. Probably a turn 3 Lotho. We'll see how this goes. We will drop, I think, our Mirkwood Bats, because we don't have any token generation yet. Ooh, even better. So now we're going to go with Great Hall. Yeah, Great Hall. Turn 2, we can play Lotho, which is phenomenal. March from the Black Gate. Yeah, so this is a really nice, probably black-white token Amass deck. Play our Lotho. See how opponent handles this. And if they decide to cast 2 here, which they don't, we would have been able to AoE. Ooh, that was really nice. Already up to 3. Really solid start here from opponent. Reprieve, okay. So this comes in tapped. We'll go ahead and hold on to a reprieve. Hold off Rosy Cotton for now. See if anything big comes down on this turn. Go ahead and hover over Rosie just for a second, see if our opponent thinks we want to target her. War of the Last Alliance. Yeah, we'll go ahead and reprieve that, get ourselves some card draw. Horn of Gondor, not too shabby. And Éowyn will be able to come down and exile the Amass token, so we will go ahead and hold back for now. Bitter Downfall, also a very nice find. We'll go ahead and Éowyn, exile the Amass token, and we will actually attack in with both. See if they want to block our Lotho. I highly doubt it. Okay. That worked out okay. So now we have Horn of Gondor that can come down. We could even play Horn of Gondor into the Dunedain Blade. Faramir, Field Commander. Okay. So no black mana. But we can tap one of our whites, search it up with Shire Terrace, and then play our Horn of Gondor. We will make a human token, attack with our Éowyn, get in for 3 damage, and this is going better than expected. See if they have some removal for Éowyn at this point. They play their War of Last Alliance, and they're going to look for a legendary creature card. We'll see what they have. Denethor, Ruling Steward. Not a bad one. They have 1 black mana left. They're touching Éowyn, Fearless Knight, as if they can do something with it. We'll see. Lash of the Balrog. Ooh. So we do create a treasure token, which is nice. Yep, we'll trigger Faramir. And we draw our own Faramir. Wow, okay. So we will be able to play Faramir and Horn of Gondor in the same turn. That's pretty phenomenal. I think we go ahead and get that going. We could take out Faramir at this point, but I think they're going to play Denethor this coming turn. And maybe Crack of Food. So yeah, let's see how this goes. We'll play our Faramir. We will activate our Horn of Gondor. Create some more humans. And we will hang tight. So we now have our Faramir, Prince of Athelian's ability working for us. And again, this says at the beginning of the end step, you choose an opponent. And at the beginning of that player's next end step, you draw a card if they didn't attack you. Otherwise, create 3 human soldier creature tokens. So if they destroy Faramir now, we get 3 tokens. We can then activate Horn of Gondor and create 7 human tokens? 6 human tokens? That's pretty nasty. The idea here is to go wide, see if we can hold off until we get... Nice. Until we get a some sort of card to boost our team. We can go from there. Ooh, Morgul Knife Wound. So Morgul Knife Wound says, enchanted creature gets -3, -0, and has at the beginning of your upkeep, exile this creature unless you pay 2 life. So we will, I think, hold off for 1 more turn. We will pay 2 life. keep Faramir around. Very nice. We will, let's see, Protector of Gondor to create a bunch of humans. I don't know why it's tapping the black here, so we will hold off on the black. Play our Protector. We will activate Horn of Gondor, and then next turn we're going to be looking to do some stuff. What would be really nice is to draw into, I forget the name of him, but the 4-mana red spell, red creature spell, that when a human enters gives our team +1/+0. That would be pretty slick. Opponent is looking at our graveyard. They are thinking about their turn. We are pretty close to presenting lethal, surprisingly. It does look like they'll have some sacrifice effects. Yep. So Denethor could sack one of their creatures to make us lose a life. We'll see if they want to attack. If they don't, we'll be able to draw a card. We still have the ability from Faramir, even if Faramir dies here. They do Hobbit Sting him for 5, and that's totally fine. That'll save us 2 damage on the next turn. And we should still get the card draw. Oh, they do attack. Interesting. Okay. So they are drawing and discarding. Let's see. Because they attacked, we will create 3 human soldier tokens. That means they have 2 blockers. We have 7, 10, 11, 12, 15 creatures. It does have double strike, so we do have to block here, unfortunately. Let's see. Yep, 3 human creature tokens. Stalwart, so we have 12, 13, 14 attackers. We can give one of them +1/+3. They can block 2. I think this is going to be GG's from us. Wasn't expecting this from this matchup, but this really goes to show how good Horn of Gondor can be. They will take it all, and we will come away with a win with our janky little Horn of Gondor deck. GG's. Okay. On the draw against Saucepaws. So we drew into our Erkenbrand, which would have been great to have in the last game, but we didn't even need it. Eowyn, looking like a very, very strong card. However, we once again don't have any early plays, and we have some limited mana, so we'll go ahead and mulligan. Beautiful. We could not have asked for something better here. So we do have a turn 2 play that we can play on turn 2 in Lotho. That turned out to be a really important mana fixer for us and Ramper. We have Nimble Hobbit, which is a turn 2 decent blocker. We have our Protector of Gondor, our Bitter Downfall. I think we go ahead and bin the Nimble Hobbit here. We'll keep our Halfling Rogue and our Human and our removal. We'll see what opponent is playing. Wizards, Rockets, and a green mana. Ah, and we draw into our Eastmark Cavalier. This is good. We'll throw out a Swamp, just to make him a little nervous about playing anything early. Does look like they will have some mana fixing to do here. Ooh, even better. So we now have all 4 of our mana colors right off the top. That could not have been better. We have Lotho. They have some Wizards, Rockets, which means they have access to really any mana they need. We'll see if they double spell here. Irith of the Healing House. So this is going to be able to untap permanents. That could be very, very good for them. We'll go ahead and hold off here. We will play out our white mana and our Eastmark Cavalier. We will pass the turn. So opponent can be able to ramp up pretty quick here. They have probably 5 mana at their disposal. We'll see if they have any big uglies to hit the board. Radagast the Brown. So this is going to help them look at the top X cards of their deck, which is the cost of a mana cost of a creature that enters the battlefield, and look for more creatures. Something we're definitely going to want to take out, probably this turn. More mana, not what we're really looking for, but we will go ahead and Bitter Downfall. Opponent's going to have to take it. We could attack with both. If we attack with Eastmark, they're going to block. No reason not to, but I like to assume the best of my opponents. Alright. Opponent now with access to 6 mana with a Legless. So Legless is one of the scry creatures I think is not as great as others. Oof. And we keep drawing mana. So we are now up to 7 mana of the top 11 cards. Not what we're looking for. But we do have a Protector of Gondor. And so actually, if our very next draw is our Horn of Gondor, this could get really crazy really fast. And I would not mind the mana screw at all. But for now, we'll go ahead and hold on. So we have a few creatures, we have all the mana we could ever need, but we do have some pretty low-powered creatures, and we aren't drawing into any of our big spells. Rise of the Witch King. Okay, so we'll go ahead and drop our cheapest creature. They are going to bring back a Radagast, which is pretty nice for them. Graveyard Recursion is always pretty strong in Limited, where removal is at a premium. Opponent has a Will-O-Wisp, which is a flyer, Scry 2 flyer. They did sacrifice their Iorith, though. And I assume they're thinking, oh man, okay. Well, 8 mana in the top 12 cards is going to be pretty hard to overcome here. Not a good look from us. We'll go ahead and play down our blue mana. Oof. I think we had a chance, and we certainly still have a chance, but now we're on the clock. They have their Will-O-Wisp. They're going to be able to scry to get more creatures. We are really going to have to draw maybe 1 or 2 cards in our deck that are going to let us come back from this. I'll go ahead and eat a little breakfast here. Eat some cheese? No? Eat some biscuits? Yeah, there we go. Jelly-filled donuts. Eat this pot pie. Quarrel's End, not gonna do it, but we can draw. We can draw. We'll go ahead and do some filtering. Into a Breaking of the Fellowship. That doesn't work on opponent's deck at all. Oh no. So, what can we do here? What can we do? So we can play down our Erkenbrand. Oh man, that's rough. So if we went ahead and attacked with everything here, we would do 2 damage, and that pretty much guarantees... Oh, we can't even play Breaking though, because we spent our red mana already. So we'll have to play our Erkenbrand here. That's a little unfortunate. Little unfortunate. But we do get to create a token. So, with Erkenbrand down now, though, we do have the ability to pull a win out of nowhere. If we draw into another Protector of Gondor, our creatures are going to get +2/+0, and that could be really strong. We're actually not in as bad a position as I thought we were. And especially with Breaking of the Fellowship in hand, we might be able to attack in one of these turns and then really surprise them. This might even be a good way of getting them to block with a Will-O-Wisp and then taking it out. Chance-Met Elves comes down. They need to scry for this to really get ugly, and they're not there yet. No creature off the top with Radagast. That's very lucky for us. If 3 mana left, they're eyeing Erkenbrand. We have all the mana we could ever need. Bewitching Leechcraft doesn't take it off the battlefield or take away its abilities, though. Faramir, Prince of Athelion. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So we will go ahead and play this out. We will attack in with something. We need to do at least 2 damage to something. So we'll go ahead and actually attack with our token here. This is going to maybe even get all the way through. They might think we have a trick in hand. Yeah, not too bad at all. So now we have to decide if we want to break the Fellowship to take out the Chance-Med Elves before it gets ugly. I think there might be a good reason to do this. All of their creatures are pretty high-powered. If we can tempt maybe one of our lower power creatures, make sure it blocks with Radagast next turn. We don't have a whole lot of removal though, do we? Maybe we hold on to this, but I think we have to take... We have to, yeah, take our shots when we can. We'll go ahead and take out the Chance-Med Elves before it gets any bigger, because otherwise that's going to become a problem. We will make our smallest creature our Ring Bearer. And Faramir does trigger, so now we will either draw a card or make 3 humans if they attack, which they probably will with the Willow-Wind. This is going to be a really good way of building our board. Galadrim Guide is going to scry. Very happy we took out the Chance-Med Elves, because otherwise that was going to be an issue. We can still hold off their ground blockers at this point, although next turn they probably do have some good attacks. They kept both cards on top with the scry. Maybe not a good look for us, but we'll see what happens. They do draw into 1. 2 blue mana, 1 black available. They attack with the Willow-Wind, so we will get 3 human creature tokens this turn. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Unfortunately, it does trigger it at the end step instead of prior to our combat, but man, we have all the tokens we could ever want. All the tokens we could ever want. Oh, into a Shire Terrace. So we'll go ahead and play this. We are going to pop this because we do not want to draw another land. We have drawn almost, oh my gosh, too many lands. Too many lands. We'll go ahead and attack with our Ring Bear, get in 1 damage. And we do trigger Faramir again, which is nice. We are on a 4-turn clock now with the Willow-Wind. They do bewitch our Protector of Gondor, so lots of removal from opponent. Ooh, interesting. They are attacking in with their Galadrim Guide. So it's possible that we actually want to block with Faramir here, because we want to keep as many creatures as we can around in case we draw into a nice human buff enabler. So maybe that's actually a good reason to exchange. No, we want, I mean, let's think about this. So we need to do 4 damage. I think Faramir is too good to keep around. Let's just go ahead and sack Lotho here, since it's going to continue doing damage to us. Yep, create some tokens. Not another land. Come on, game. Well, this is... We're doing everything that we could hope for here. We have a bunch of creatures on the board. We have some pretty good synergies going. It's just we're drawing into a lot of lands. Okay. So we'll go ahead. We'll give ourselves one more turn here. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we can start drawing some cards sometime soon. Smeagol Helpful Guide. Wow. Bag End Porter as well. Yeah. So opponent really doing well to replenish and play out all their cards. Willow-Wind attacks. We're now on a 2-turn clock after this. Looks like they are not attacking with anything else. No, they are. Good. They should. If a creature died under your control, the ring tempts you. I think we just go ahead and, because we're going to keep getting blockers from Faramir, we'll go ahead and chump. We have 1 more turn left to do something. Legolas gets bigger. Faramir makes some tokens. This actually isn't the worst. So we can catch them off guard and take out a Willow-Wind next turn. It's actually, yeah, it's not too bad. So we have saved ourselves a little time here. Oh, draw a land. That is probably the only card in their deck that would have stopped us from coming back here. Now the nice thing is, Escape from Orthanc does untap our creatures, so even though Faramir is getting put in our library, we can still use Escape from Orthanc on our Erkenbrand. The ability has already triggered, so we will be able to block their Willowwind. Yep, back in Porter. Go ahead and do this. Look at that, a flying Erkenbrand. We'll block the Porter. We will block the Legolas. We will take out the Willowwind. We will block the Guide. Anything else attacking us? Just those 4. Do we want to take out Galadrim? I think we're okay with this. I think this is fine. So we take out their Flyer, which is nice. And we do have Erkenbrand now, ready to attack. We will get our creatures, which is nice. The ring is going to tempt them, which is not as nice. Oof, okay. We bought ourselves another couple of turns here. Oh no, what just happened? What just happened? No. It looks like Smeagol. Oh my gosh, I always forget about the extra text on this. So Smeagol Helpful Guide has a lot of text. At the beginning of the end step, if a creature died under that player's control, the ring tempts them. But also whenever the ring tempts them, target opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card. Put that card on the battlefield and the rest into our graveyard. So they just took out our Mirkwood Bats, they took out our Horn of Gondor, they took out our Dunedain Blades and our Faramir. Opponent has had every possible answer to anything that we could do. Now we do have another Swamp. We do have a Reprieve in hand. Opponent has 18 cards, somehow more than we do. We're going to keep just holding down the fort. Now we can only chump block here, and it doesn't seem like we have too many more opportunities to really do it well. But we're going to drag this game out as long as we can. We will Erkenbrand on the Galadrim Guide. Nope, we won't. We have to give ourselves a chance here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll block Galadrim Guide with 4 or 1/1s. We will still have 1 left. Should we block with Eastmark Cavalier here? It's kind of tempting, isn't it? It will save us 1 more body. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay. So we will lose 4 of our 5 blockers. And that does hurt. Opponent probably holding on to a land here. Legolas keeps getting bigger. Opponent plays a card, please. Nope, just a land. The ring is going to tempt them. They're going to mill us. This is bad news. Lost our Esquire. We can play a Hobbit. We only have 8 cards left in our deck. This is probably looking like the end of our game, but we'll play it till the end. They play a Celeborn the Wise. They are just Sultai good stuff here. Second Breakfast. Uh-oh. This could actually be a nice little blowout. Let's see how they attack. Let's see what happens for us. Nothing from Radagast. That's a good break. That's a very good break. They attack with everything. Wow. Okay. Okay. So they're going to do some scrying. They're going to draw a discard, which is not going to be great. They do get in with Nimmerdale Watcher, which is annoying. They untap their Legolas, do a scry, draw a discard, whatever it is in their hand. Glorfindel, very nice. Okay, so let's see what we can take out here. We will block Legolas. We will block a Bag-End Porter. We can use our Nimble Hobbit to... Why would we do that? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. +2/+1. Okay. So we can block like that, take 3, but create a food token, and that's not nothing. Eat our food token, gain some life back. Okay. Hanging out at 4 life. We'll see what we draw. It has been a lot of lands this game, has it not? So they will get to attack with their Nimrodel, which will trigger Celeborn. This will be +3. We will have a limited number of other blockers. We're going to go ahead and call it here. It was a fair effort on our part, but just too many lands in the early game for us to really get going. Good game. Okay, on the draw against Frost 6819. So we have our 4 drops. We have a Dunedain Blade, not going to be good enough. We'll go ahead and mulligan. A little bit better, but also still pretty terrible. We do have our Faramir. We have our Dunedain. We have a second Breakfast, which doesn't really matter yet, but we'll go ahead and keep because we don't want to get down to too few cards. We'll drop our Mirkwood Bats. I think it's probably the least relevant card at this point. We'll go ahead and bluff some removal with our Swamp. March from the Black Gates. Okay. Breaking of the Fellowship, not a bad draw. We'll see if they play a bigger creature that can take out their Amass army. They do, an Uruk-hai Berserker. So they're going to get tempted, put it on their army. That'll grow. This is fine. Okay, we get into our 4th mana. We can play Eowyn next turn, which has a power of 3. This is interesting. I think we do go ahead and just remove one of their creatures here. So the Uruk-hai Berserker does 3 damage to their Amass army. That prevents them from growing their army anymore with March of the Black Gates, which is good. They play a Stone of Eric. They can pay 2 mana and tap it and sacrifice it. We exile our graveyard and draw a card. That seems fine. That's their entire turn. 3 damage in. Okay, so we draw into a Lotho Corrupt Sheriff. So this will be able to trade for the Uruk-hai Berserker. We can also get our Dunedain Blade on the battlefield, and the following turn we can play Eowyn, and maybe exile something big. I like that idea. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll see what happens. Any hold up from opponent? No? Perfect. Okay. And because of the way we sequenced this, we played Lotho first, and then our Dunedain Blade, which was our second spell. That's interesting. Which allowed us to create a treasure token. So we might actually use that treasure token to play our Faramir instead. Ooh, they drop a Fangorn. This is why I don't like drafting Fangorn whenever it wheels around in the 6th or 7th pick. It's a huge, huge cost spell that really, when it comes down, is just a 4/10 body. But we'll see if they have a good use for it here. So we have our Esquire of the King. We have our Faramir, Prince of Athelion. We'll go ahead and play both of them. And we now have our human synergy starting to kick up. Looks like they have more removal. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so they take our Eowyn. This is bad news for us. They do have an Uruk-hai Berserker who's attacking in, drawing them cards. We could block if we wanted, but we don't really need to yet. Both of our creatures can still block, so we'll go ahead and hold off. We will have more blockers this turn because they attacked with Faramir's ability on the board. So that happens. We have a Bitter Downfall, which is an instant speed spell. Something I like very much. We have our Esquire of the King, which is going to allow us to pump our team. We also have Second Breakfast, which is going to be able to pump our team. I think we can actually equip our Faramir this turn. We can get in for 5. We can hold back our other creatures to block, and then we have 2 really nice instant speed spells to deal with whatever they could do this turn. Second Breakfast being probably the way I would like to go, just because we get a food token and can save ourselves some life. Mordor Muster. So they are really going in on the Amass mechanics, which is great. They also had binned Gorbag earlier, so they definitely are into attacking. Ooh, Mirkwood Bats, such a good card in these token decks. So they have an Uruk-hai Berserker. They attack with both. That is really surprising. Okay, Okay. So we're going to go ahead and use all 3 of our creature tokens here. We will do that. So we'll use Second Breakfast, give 2 of our tokens +2. So we'll be able to take out the Berserker, take out the Amass token, get ourselves some food. And then Mirkwood Bats is really the issue, but we'll have a little bit of life gain to deal with that. And we still have a 5/4 Faramir attacking in. So we could Bitter Downfall here and attack in, and I think we go ahead and do that. They'll lose 2 life. We'll do 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, so they'll be at 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That might just be game if we're lucky. Lose 2 damage, attack in, do 9, put them down to 3, and we'll see what they have to do here. If they don't attack us, we'll draw a card. If they do attack us, we'll make 3 tokens. Fangorn is too expensive. March from Blackgate doesn't do anything. Are we going to have a GG's on our hands? We do. Our second win with our janky little human stack. You gotta love it. Okay, on the play for the first time against Mike Big Helmet. So we do only have mountains, but we do have some early removal and our Quarrel's End. This is probably the best hand we've had yet in this draft, to be honest. I'll go ahead and play this. Because we are on the play, we have early mover advantage. Even though we're not going to have any board presence, we still get to respond to their things on our turn, or on our kind of time. We'll go ahead and keep. We'll play out our mountain on turn 1. Facing an island from opponent. Be Still My Heart. What a phenomenal turn 3. If they have counter magic, I'm going to be so sad. But if they don't, Horn of Gondor is going to take over this game. So we'll play out our mountain, we'll pass the turn. We'll see if they do anything, show us what they're thinking. They might have a party. Oliphant. This is actually really good news for us. So if they're mountain cycling, that means they are 2 colors, which means they probably have other things they want to be doing with their turn other than countering us. They have an Erebor Flamesmith. Love it. We'll go ahead and play our Horn of Gondor. We'll see what they have to say about that. Depending what they play out, Birthday Escape, this is fine. So it looks like they're going to be a spell slinging deck, and this is not the worst. We might be able to outpace them, depending on what kind of spells they have in hand. Birthday Escape, it looks like they really did draw into a lot of their early stuff. It would be nice to be able to remove their Flamesmith. They're probably not going to have a lot of other creatures, though, for our Breaking of the Fellowship to be effective. They don't. They have, let's see. So we can Protector of Gondor, attack in. We could Quarrel's End, create a human soldier, and draw, and leave up our Escape from Orthanc. We could use our Horn of Gondor, which isn't going to be very good yet because it only creates 1 token. Kind of like the idea of trying to go wide as fast as possible by playing our Protector of Gondor. But I think whatever we play might get removed. Let's go Protector of Gondor. And attack first, just to see if they want to trade or take this out. I don't think they will. We've thought about this long and hard enough. It should make them suspicious. Yep, they accept that. We'll go ahead and play out our Protector of Gondor. They do seem to have something up. 1 mana spell. We'll create our 3rd human, and a 3/3 on board is a threat for them. The island cycle their Lorien Revealed. So they must have multiple copies of those bigger spells, or else I don't think they'd be using them this early. 4 mana, 3 of which are islands from opponents. Scroll of Isildur. So this is a saga that says gain control of 1 target artifact for as long as they control Scroll of Isildur. The ring tempts them. Man. That's just mean. That's just mean. There are not a whole lot of cards in this set that can take or interact with our Horn of Gondor, and it just so happens that is one of them. So in this position, we do draw into an island. I think we'll go ahead and Quarrel's End, dropping our Breaking of the Fellowship. It doesn't seem like opponent's going to have very many creatures. They don't. This is good. Okay. We will play our black mana. We will attack in. Opponent is taking some heat now, which is nice. They're going to put some stun counters on our creatures. However, we have an escape from Orthanc. So if they try to tap the token that could block them and attack in, we could actually surprise them and trade for their Flamesmith, which would be a bad thing for their board presence. They might also go so far as to... Of course they have a knight, but they won't be able to use Horn of Gondor, which is nice. And Scroll of Isildur is going to fizzle next turn, so we'll get our Horn of Gondor back. Ah, they did attack. Oh, they're not going to like this. So we'll go ahead and untap with our Protector. Ooh, it actually just takes a stun counter off of it. Okay, that's interesting. So we can't block the Erebor Flamesmith, but we did remove a stun counter. So next turn, opponent is only going to draw one card off of their scroll. They do 2 damage. We have Mirkwood Bats. We have Stalwarts of Osgiliath. Next turn, we're going to be able to create a lot of tokens, so... I like the idea of playing a Mirkwood Bats down and seeing if opponent can handle that. We have some ample blockers. We have 2 mana up, Stern Scolding. Oh no. What a card, what a card. So Stern Scolding is an 1 mana, 1 blue, a 1 blue instant that says counter target creature spell with power or toughness 2 or less. Mirkwood Bats has power 2. What an insane thing for opponent to have. That's okay. So they will go ahead and draw 1 card for our 1-tapped creature. We will get our Horn of Gondor back. We will be able to start flooding the board again, but we'll have to see if opponent can keep it up. They've had some really good disruption spells so far. They've stunned some of our creatures. They've stolen our biggest token generator. They had a 1 mana counterspell for one of the best cards we could have drawn in this situation, our Mirkwood Bats. It's been a pretty good one-on-one so far. Now we are more than happy to just chump block for as long as we need to. We will presumably be able to create more and more tokens. Bill Bree Swindler. Okay, so Bill Ferny, Bree Swindler, is a legendary human rogue. Whenever Bill Ferny, Bree Swindler, becomes blocked, opponent gets to choose one. Create a treasure token, or target opponent gains control of target horse they control. And they get to remove Bill Ferny from combat and create 3 treasure tokens. They haven't had a horse yet, so they'll probably just be creating treasure tokens. So we draw into a Nimble Hobbit. Which could be really, really good. Stalwarts of Osgiliath is a big body, but requires 5 mana. We are 1 mana short of doing the Stalwarts into Horn of Gondor. So I think we just try to establish more board presence. We will do Nimble Hobbit into our Horn of Gondor. We'll create as many humans as opponent will let us. And we still have a bunch of open mana. Yep, there we go. So we'll go ahead, do our Horn now, before we attack in with our Protector. Looks like they're going to tap our Protector of Gondor, scry 1 and draw. Really, really nice pull from them. We will attack with both of our 1/1s though. We have some blockers back. We don't think they're going to want to trade for some of their enablers, especially for Flamesmith. We're still in a really good position. We have 6 humans on board. If we draw another land, we'll have 7 before we tap Horn of Gondor. We're doing our thing. We're going wide. We're stalling the board with chump blockers. It's a really effective strategy in Limited. Yep. Opponent continues drawing into and sorting through their deck. A lot of really cheap spells for them. A lot of cycling deck, or cycling cards. Some really good support cards. A big finisher in Knights of Dol Amroth. Not sure why they made that the ring bearer, but they did. Maybe they have some sort of trampley thing. Not sure. They are up to the 4th chapter, I guess, of the ring, which will let their ring bearer, if they deal combat damage, I guess technically do 3 more damage to us, but we have blockers for now. Not a big deal to have to sacrifice a token that's going to die. So 5 humans on the board currently. We'll see what opponent's doing. They have a cast into the fire. They have exiled our Horn of Gondor. Oh, wow. What a pull from opponent. So we'll see if they're going to counter our Stalwarts of Osgiliath before we attack this turn. If they do, we won't attack in with as many creatures, because we are in a place of needing to be a little careful now. And an Amass. Wow, okay. Opponent having all the things they need here. So we will attack, let's see. Nimble Hobbit can tap down something next turn. I think we go ahead and get a little greedy. We're at a place now where we have to try to play at the margins every single turn. So we'll attack with 4 of our creatures. We'll leave 2 blockers behind and put them in a position where, if we unexpectedly draw into one of our pump spells, we'll have them in range. So they're not going to be expecting us to be able to pump all of our creatures and give them +1, +0. So they might over-attack, thinking that they have us where they want us. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Gandalf's Sanction. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Gandalf's Sanction. What a great build around. They dealt 10 damage to our very low toughness creature. Excess damage was done to our face. GG's Mike Big Helmet. Really, really solid deck from them. Okay. On the draw against Mystic Mystifier. Ooh. So we have an early turn play, turn 1 play in Esquire of the King. We have an Erkenbrand. We have the manas that are most important for us. We'll go ahead and keep and see what we draw into. And hopefully we won't get flooded like we did in Game 2. Oh, okay. Turn 1 Forest from opponent. It'll be a turn 1 Lanes into Esquire of the King from us. We have our turn 3 Horn of Gondor into an Erkenbrand. Woe's Pathfinder. So a little bit of ramp from opponent. We do have Nimble Hobbit. We'll go ahead and attack in with our Esquire. They're probably not going to want to trade off for their mana ramp. Erkenbrand and Horn of Gondor are the combo of our deck at this point. Ray of Orcs. Yeah, that's okay. It's not the worst play from them. Now we will be able to create a token when this enters, which is hugely important, because that means that we can start multiplying almost immediately. Book of Azarbul. Okay, so they're making quite the Amass deck right now. We'll go ahead and take it. We're not in any rush. Faramir is really nice. Erkenbrand is also nice. We'll pump our team. We'll get in for some damage. Don't want to pay anything. Next turn, we'll be able to play. Actually, next turn we don't have any other play other than Escape from Orthanc and activating our Horn of Gondor. Now, Horn of Gondor, they don't have any more removal. Of course they do. Okay, so they actually just take out our Nimble Hobbit, which is kind of questionable, but I guess that's all they really could do. If I was them, I would have taken out our human token, but we'll see. So next turn we have to be careful. They are going to get, all their creatures are going to get +1/+0 and Menace next turn. They'll deal 5 this turn, so they'll go up to 12, or down to 12. They'll have a 6 and 7, 8. They'll be able to attack for 8 next turn. So I think we're still okay here. No reason to block. They have 3 mana left. They play an Erebor Flamesmith off the top. We get a Swamp, which lets us play Lotho and Horn of Gondor. Not too bad. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll pump up our team. We now have multiple blockers, so we will attack in and put them in a position where they might be forced to trade off for a Flamesmith here. Looks like they have a 1 mana pump spell, which would be absolutely devastating for us. But they're thinking about if they want to go for a win next turn. So they trade instead of just chump blocking. Very interesting. Okay. So 8 power coming at us this next turn. Relentless Rohirrim. It's going to allow them to be tempted by the ring again. They attack. Whoa. I don't know about that. Ooh, another Breaking of the Fellowship. They bend a Breaking of the Fellowship. Now that is dangerous. 6 damage. I think we have to take this. They held back another... Oh man. If we had a blue mana here, we almost might be able to take this. So we'll activate Horn of Gondor. We'll see where that gets us. 1, 2, 3. So we have a lot of attack. They do have to block everyone here. And we can attack in with everyone, and then escape from Orthanc to untap and buff one of our creatures, which will give us a blocker for next turn, in addition to surviving a trade this turn. So I think we have to go ahead and take this. Hopefully they block Lotho. It's kind of a sneaky way of us losing. Yep, we'll blow them out here with the Erkenbrand buff. Deal some damage to them. We have 4 blockers back against their 1 Amass token. We'll see what they can do with that. We have 6 creatures on board. They're at 2 life. They're drawing and discarding to see what they want to do about that. Any sort of trample here would be devastating. I can't off the top of my head think of anything that can give them trample at instant speed. I'm sure it exists. And actually, in this case, there's really nothing to... There's no reason to not block with Erkenbrand. You know, I'm kind of scared of a pump spell here that gives them trample. I kind of want to block with Erkenbrand to give us the best chance of surviving a pump spell. We'll go ahead and chump with Erkenbrand. We'll see what they do with that. They just take it. So we have 5 creatures, they have 2 life. They play a Dunedain. That's going to be GG's. Excellent, excellent turnaround here from us. We're going to get our 3rd win, and we'll head on to seek our 4th. GG's Mystic Mystifier. Okay, on the play against Wheeze, we have our lands. We have a couple early plays. Aaron Rider of Gondor, always good. We go ahead and keep this one. So we're hunting for our 4th win here, and I have to really say I'm pleased we hit 3. We had kind of a crazy unguided, unintentional draft going on. We were a little all over the place. I really wanted to bring in the Hobbits deck for a draft, but that wasn't going to be. We skipped a lot of the really good scry cards that would have made a very strong deck. Probably would have gotten us back to 5 or 6 wins. But we were able to do one very critical key thing this draft, and that was draft Horn of Gondor. If we hadn't done that, we would probably be sitting at 0 wins. So we'll go ahead, get some card draw on. Next turn, we can either Dunedain and attach a blade, or do something with Breaking of the Fellowship. Goldberry is likely going to... I don't know if we need another plains here. We'll go ahead and drop the plains. Goldberry is going to be a counter-giving kind of build. Yep, green. I wouldn't be surprised if they had actually drawn into the 4-mana Elrond that puts counters on things whenever they scry. Aragorn Company Leader. This is the first time I've seen this in draft 2. So Aragorn Company Leader is a 3-mana legendary human ranger that says, whenever the ring tempts you, if you chose a creature other than Aragorn, As your ring bearer, put a counter of your choice from amongst First Strike, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink on Aragorn. And whenever you put one or more counters on Aragorn, put one of each of those kinds of counters on up to one other target creature. So this is a counter giver, and something that is extraordinarily good alongside Golgari, River Daughter, which can move those counters. So we will go ahead and play down a Nimble Hobbit and break their fellowship. So even if they're putting something on Golgari, we do not want Aragorn to be doing other things with those counters. Also really, really cool for opponent to probably have played out their top 2 spells back to back. So we now have made our Esquire of the King, our ring bearer. Can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Will attack with both. They're probably not going to want to trade for their Aragorn. No reason to. It's a very, very solid enabler for what their deck is trying to do. They want to keep it around. So some early damage. We're moving along. We're going to see if opponent is able to build on that phenomenal early start. Miramar Guardian, 4/2. Not the best, but it's okay. Little do they know, we have lots and lots of swords. We have another mana to do something with too. So go ahead, we'll play down our Dunedain Blades. We will attach one of them to something, probably our Nimble Hobbit. We actually can't do that, can we? So we'll go ahead and attach it to Esquire of the King. See if they want to do something about that. They don't. And we actually might hold back here. They have a 1-mana spell of some sort. I don't like that. Maybe they have the same kind of combat trick we have, which is the 1 white mana spell that gives +1/+3 and untaps creatures. Looks like they're trying to force a blowout with their Aragorn, but we are too wise for their ways. So once again, they're attacking in. If we trade here, they're going to blow us out. If we don't trade here, we're not going to be able to attack. We know that they're going to have 5 toughness, 5 power, 5 toughness after that buff spell. And that's pretty bad for us. That means we don't have any good blocks here. So let's wait another turn. Wait till we can maybe attach another Dunedain Blade and then trade for one of our either Errand Rider of Gondor or Nimble Hobbits. Elven Chorus. Ooh, very nice ramp. Excellent. So this is pretty phenomenal. We're going to be able to play Éowyn, exile their Miramar, and then also equip our Éowyn. Heck yeah. And our creatures will gain protection from green, so they won't be able to blow us out with anything. That was maybe the best top deck we could have found. Absolutely phenomenal. And we'll actually go ahead and equip our Esquire to try to push a little bit more damage. We'll attack with the Esquire, attack with Éowyn, get in 8 damage. And then we'll probably re-equip next turn unless we draw into something better. Okay, opponent's down to 8. Not a bad spot for us, but we are out of cards, and we don't have a lot of ways of finding more plays if we draw into a land. So a lot of potential for us to stall out here. Opponent with 6 mana, given that their Elven Chorus allows them to tap creatures they control for mana. They can also look at and cast creature spells from the top of their library. They choose not to. What? What are these top decks? These are, okay, this is making up for our land flood earlier. So, what are they going to want to do here? We have so many ways of getting around this. Okay, so we will re-equip on our Errand Rider. So now, whenever we attack, we are doing 7 damage total. We're going to attack all. We'll see what they have in hand. We have a Bitter Downfall at the ready, which also will make our opponent lose 2 life. So if all of our attacks go through and we're able to successfully destroy their creature, that's going to be pretty good. So let's just see what happens here. We could also just tap the Aragorn, but again, if we think they have that untap spell, we're not going to do that. We're just going to hold up our Bitter Downfall. Yep, definitely smart for them to trade there. We will let them do that. See what they have in hand. They did have the escape from Orthanc. We are going to go ahead and Bitter Downfall, see if that goes through. They have to have something else in hand that they can do, right? They have blue mana. They had 6 mana total and didn't do anything, so they have to have some other spell here. It's just, what is it? They're a counterspell. An exile spell! Wow! So we don't lose our creatures. We are going to get in for 7 damage. That's pretty good. So not the worst outcome, but also not great. Opponent plays Soldier of the Grey Host off the top. They do attack in. They only have 1 blocker. They give up. And we have reached our 4th win with this janky deck. Oh, so proud of our little humans. Okay, on the play against Shazam, we have all of our lands, minus some blue. We have a turn 2 Nimble Hobbit, we have Mirkwood, we have Eowyn. Pretty good hand. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Go ahead and eat our morning pie. Have a little dessert, maybe. 3 jelly donuts. Nothing too much. Go ahead and play out a turn 1 Swamp, just to make them think we have removal. Mirkwood Spider. Now this is a deck that I really wanted to avoid. In my other runs, I have just gotten stonewalled by this card. Go ahead and say hello. But we have our Mirkwood, we have an Eowyn, we can play a Dunedain Blade on turn 3 if we don't draw into anything else. They have some ramp in Woe's Pathfinder, pretty good. Ooh, Eastmark Cavalier. We'll go ahead and play that down instead, I think. No reason not to attack with Hobbit here. We're okay trading that for our Spider. Or for their Spider, rather. And they're not going to want to trade their ramp, so 1 free damage. Yep. So opponent at 3, potentially 4 mana. Looks like they might have a fight spell. They're figuring out what they want to destroy. Morgul Knife Wound. That is a really excellent early removal spell. Do we care about this? We don't want to pay 2 life, and we will exile that creature. And instead, we will play a Mirkwood Bat. So the sooner we can get our flyers on the board, the better. And we will continue to attack with our Hobbit, because I want that Spider off the board. That's really going to hold up our bigger creatures, and we really want Eowyn and Protector of Gondor getting in. Especially if we have a Blade, a Dunedain Blade, in hand. So opponent now with 4 mana, 5 mana, and 1 death-touchy little spider. They play out a Gorbag, so it looks like they are black, white, and green. But we have found our Horn of Gondor. Wonderful. Okay, so this turn, how do we want to sequence this? So we play Protector, we get more humans on board. We play Gondor, we have the ability to make that go off whenever. Protector clogs the board, which lets them not attack in with Gorbag, which means they don't get to draw a card or create treasure. They're low on cards in hand, which may mean that they haven't gotten any of their big bombs out quite yet. I really want to hold up Éowyn in case they have a bigger creature down the road. So I say let's go ahead and play out Protector of Gondor. Opponent's going to lose 1 life for the token it's created. We'll attack in through the air, and we will see if that puts some pressure on them. Next turn, we can play out our Horn of Gondor or our Éowyn. Or even just play out Dunedain Blade, and if we draw another land, equip our bat. There's nothing scarier than a bat with a sword. They have their own Dunedain Blade. Not sure what they'll want to equip that on. They only have 1 human. Pathfinder doesn't have a very good attack here, so they'll hold off. We do draw into our planes. And it doesn't look like they have any reach or any removal. So I'm really thinking maybe there is something good about just putting a blade on our bat. But I guess if we play Horn of Gondor, we can make a token this turn, play the blade out, equip it next turn, activate. So that sounds pretty good to me too. We'll go ahead and play the Horn of Gondor. We'll see what opponent has to say about that. They do have 2 mana up. They don't do anything with it. We'll hold up our 2 mana just to make them think about it a little bit, I guess. We'll attack in with our Mirkwood Bat, see what they do. They don't do anything. We'll go ahead and play out our Blade, see what opponent wants to do about that. They don't do anything. Okay, so we know they have some play up for 2 mana. Celeborn the Wise. So they don't have any other elves on the board currently. This kind of seems like maybe it's just green, white, black, good stuff. Nothing to exile here with Éowyn. We can just, can we do that for 3? We can equip 1 of our tokens, make it trade for their 3/3s. We can keep creating blockers, attacking with our bat. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We'll go ahead and start with the Horn of Gondor. Create some tokens. Opponent will lose 3 life. We'll go ahead, we'll equip our bat. We'll attack in for 4. Opponent down to 5. We'll see what they have to draw here. If they don't have any interaction, they'll be pretty dead. They do have a Shelob. Ah, we'll give them a nice for that one. That is their build around. So nothing here to do. Let's see. Death Touch and Ward, but no reach. So we'll go ahead. We'll activate Horn of Gondor. And that'll deal 6 damage. So now you really get to see the some of the very specific synergies and combos that we have somehow managed to insert into this deck. Mirkwood Bats and Horn of Gondor is an absolutely crazy play. You'll see next turn that we could have done 12 damage just by activating Horn of Gondor. Really, really solid showing for our deck, and that gets us yet another win. Okay, on the play, we have a turn 2, we have some removal, we have our Mirkwood, we have our Shire Terrace for some mana fixing. We'll go ahead and keep. So we'll go ahead and play down our Terrace just to get it on the board. We can tap it for colorless mana, so we can still play Nimble Hobbit on 2. We get that, and our 4th mana, so we now have Breaking of the Fellowship at the ready, we have Protector of Gondor potentially. Opponent on black, red, Orc, Goblin, Amass. Assuming they're going to have some really good cards here, but Breaking of the Fellowship is also going to be able to do some damage. We have to look out for a turn 4 removal spell, that 4 mana red Amass removal spell. But for now, we have Breaking of the Fellowship up, so we'll go ahead and play out another white. we will fetch a black, and we'll plan on playing out our Mirkwood Bat on turn 4. So we'll go ahead and grab a swamp for now. We'll hold back. See what they have for us. Swarm with Moria, yep, for sure. And this is actually a really nice setup for us. Into Horn of Gondor. Oh no, okay. So it might not feel like it, but this is the turn where we either win or lose this game. We can choose to take out their Moher, which is going to put extra counters on their orc armies. We can put down our Mirkwood Bat, then our Protector of Gondor, then our Horn of Gondor into Breaking of the Fellowship, which... oh man, this is tough. This is really tough. Once we get to Horn of Gondor, we're going to be able to create blockers for however big their army is. Moher is going to keep hitting us because it has Menace. They're going to have some sort of removal somewhere down the road. Probably turn 4 or 5. Oh boy. I think this turn we have to go for our best play, which is setting up the Mirkwood Bats. If we play out Bats, we then play Gondor into Breaking next turn, and if that lands, we're going to be in a really, really solid place. So we'll go ahead and play that out, see what they want to do about it. That's exactly the card I wanted to look out for. Oh, that does hurt really bad. That hurts really bad. So this turn, we can sacrifice our Nimble Hobbit, save ourselves a little bit of life. We have a reprieve. Okay, so let's go out. Go ahead and play our Horn of Gondor. We can use our blocker this turn. I want to hold up reprieve for something that they might play here, though. They might have another Foray of Orcs. That would be pretty brutal. And they do. So we'll go ahead and reprieve that. Give ourselves one more turn. We do have an escape from Orthanc. That's not really going to help us for anything. We will take this hit from them because it's not as big as the others. We can... what can we do here? We can break the Fellowship by killing their Moher. We can play an Eastmark Cavalier. We have an escape from Orthanc up. That's not really going to help us a whole lot. And we know what they have next is the Foray of Orcs. That's going to be brutal. They're going to be dealing 8 damage to stuff. We don't really have much to deal with that. Our best option is to wait them out and just chump block them until we can build up enough of a board. They'll probably take out the Eastmark Cavalier here. Nothing we can do about that. Yep, that's fun. It hurts and it's scary, but that's fine. Opponent drafted a very, very, very good synergistic deck that's also low to the ground and very consistent. A lot of Amass mechanic in this set. Oh. So do have a bitter downfall here. Is there any benefit to holding that? They're at 8 mana. I don't know if they'll not think about how Horn of Gondor works. We could play a Protector, buy ourselves one more turn. That might be worthwhile. Let's go ahead and hold up our black mana, because Bitter Downfall costs 3 less if it targets a creature that was dealt damage. So if we block with our 1/1, we can still kill that for 1 black mana. And they're going to want to keep attacking. Double Mirkwood. Double Mirkwood. This is bad news for us, but we do have a flyer. They don't know it, but they do. Boom. So we will be able to take out their 8/8, deal 2 damage off the top. We can block a Mirkwood Bat. Another Protector. Oh my, this could be a turnaround. This could be a real turnaround. We'll go ahead and attack in. We will be able to block at least one of their bats next turn. We'll see if they have any kill spells. They've gone through a lot of their early removal, though. Oh, get out of here. So we have to fire off our Escape from Orthanc early due to their discard spell. Really, really excellent pickup from them. They're probably just going to hang back. They'll have the win next turn, potentially. Not what we wanted to see, but we have Horn of Gondor. We know we can create some blockers. We'll keep attacking because that's all we can really do. Create or sacrifice a token. They have to sacrifice a token. It can't just die. Okay, we'll attack with our protector. And we have cards that can bring this home for us. We will hold up a Great Hall of the Citadel to see if maybe that scares them into doing something they wouldn't normally do. We don't want to kill their amass token because we don't want them to amass a new one. Oh, that's dirty. That is dirty. So next turn they'll have the kill with Fall of Care Andros. They deal 4 damage to our face, maybe 5, a little buff spell, a little something. Shelob's Ambush. Ah, good game synchronized. You were very much so. And so even though I really felt we had a chance in that last game to get our 6th win, we will finish at 5 wins. We have gotten our gems back. We've gotten some packs. We've gotten some rares. This has been a pretty good draft, especially given how it started. We wanted hobbits. We ended up with a hodgepodge of humans. And we were lucky enough to draw into Horn of Gondor, which really might be, in my opinion, the most dominant card in this set on its own. If you build around it even a little bit with other humans, it can really take off like crazy. But even if you just wanted to drop it into any color combination, it can really save you. So with that, we are going to call it a day for this premiere draft of the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth set. I really hope that you enjoyed the gameplay as much as I enjoyed playing it. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, as it really does help my small channel grow. And I will see you in the next one.